8:10 in the morning, Friday, May 26, 2017. Marty and I are in Sulphur Canyon on the east side of the Sandias. Nobody back here but us. So where are we going today on this hike? We have not hiked any of these trails before, so this will be a first. This is what I'm calling a 6 trails loop, where we're going to go counterclockwise from here up to the crest, and then down the crest trail a little ways, and then back down to here. So do have pit toilets. We are going up what we assume is the approach trail, or we'll call it the Sulphur Canyon Trail, since we're at the Sulphur Canyon trailhead. And we'll see where this takes us. Just a stone's throw up the way, and we are at Sulphur Canyon Trail, number 281. Half mile up, we're going to get on the faulty, and we will take the faulty over to Oso Corridor and on up from there. This little Sulphur Canyon Trail, nice and shady, heavily wooded, pleasant little walk. And here we are, about a half mile into it, and we are at the faulty trail, number 195. So we're going to take a right. We'll take the faulty to Oso Corridor, and that corridor up to Tree Spring, up to the crest. Then when we come back, we'll come down to Cenega, and then we'll come back from that direction, back to Sulphur Canyon. Well, I forgot to mention, elevation at the trailhead was 7,392 feet. Yeah. So, we are now on the faulty. Here's a little why, so I think from what I read, you got to take the left. Still on the faulty trail. Just wanted to show you how nice and shady this is back in here. This is really nice. And we haven't really done any climbing yet except for that half-mile up out of the trailhead. The faulty seems to be following the contour line around. So hadn't really been bad at all. Nice cool morning. Well, here we are at the junction of Oso Corridor Trail 265. We just came off of the faulty Trail 195, so that direction is the faulty. This is the Oso Corridor, which is where we're going to go. On the Oso Corridor, headed up the Tree Spring Trail. Got by that wild vicious dog back there. And it took a little less than an hour to get to that Oso Corridor junction. Shot of that ridge line over there. Looks pretty cool. Well, we're still on the Oso Corridor. We wanted to stop and check the GPS. It's 9:50, so we've been hiking about an hour and a half, hour 35 minutes. We've gone about 3¼ miles, which is a little more than halfway to the crest. I mean, I'm estimating the crest trip would be 6 to maybe as much 6½ miles. So 3¼ and the odd thing is we've already climbed 1,000 feet and yet it didn't feel like hardly any climbing at all because the grades have been extremely, I'd say 5%, every now and then 8%. So, and 1,000 feet, that's half the elevation gain to the crest, so we're not doing too bad. GPS looks like Tree Spring is up here. I don't know, maybe another 1/4 mile, 1/3 of a mile or so. We'll see. Well, 10:30, and here we are at the junction with Tree Spring Trail. Coming off the Oso Corridor. Tree Spring Trail number 147. Now if you go to the right, that'll take you to the Tree Spring Trail head. If you're going to the crest, you got to go left, which is where we're going. So let's see if we can get this sign in here. Okay. Tree Spring Trail. Oso Corridor.
Take a picture of me right here.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh. So we have climbed about 1,200 feet, so we got 800 feet left to go. I said it's 10:30, so that's been a little over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And we've gone about 4½ miles. So I think we got 3½ no, we probably got 2½ left to get up to the crest or something like that, 2½ or so. So we're about to take a left here and be on Tree Spring. So off we go to the left, Tree Spring Trail, headed to the crest, and from this point on the grade should get a little bit steeper for the last whatever we got left here. And checked the GPS a while ago. It says 1/2 mile to the crest as the crow flies, but the way this trail zigzags around, I figure it's going to be probably a mile. So it's not bad. If we get up there around 11:30, we'll be an hour ahead of schedule, which is cool. I don't argue with that. We're on Tree Spring Trails, probably a quarter mile from the crest, and just wanted to stop and show you this unbelievably gorgeous view. Too bad this little camera doesn't have zoom, but well, we're still on Tree Spring. But we are at the junction of the 10K South Trail. Which runs off in that direction there. And that lady said when you see the mountain wilderness sign, which is right there, that we're all but at the crest. So 10K goes off that way. Tree Spring goes down that way. Question is,
I think it's still
which way do we go here? Yeah. Left or right?
I think it's
okay, after checking things out, we came around and looked at that and didn't see that at the beginning. So when you come through, the North Crest Trail is straight up that direction, and then the south, and the tram is that direction too. So the South Crest Trail is that way. So if you come up here, as soon as you get to the Sandia Wilderness sign where you see the 10K trail, if you go right straight through, you're going to be on the North Crest Trail. That'll circle around back towards the tram. So if you want to go down like we're going to go down to the Cenega, you take a left, and that's where we're headed. Okay, and I forgot to say it's 11. We got here about 11:30, so we're an hour ahead of schedule. Elevation is about 9,400, which is 2,000 feet of climbing, and it's just about 6¼ miles to this point. So I think that's three hours. Not bad, because I thought it was going to take us 4. Still on the South Crest Trail. Wind died down a little bit. Sure is beautiful in here. And this whole hike has been under tree cover. I mean, almost, I'd say, at least 95% of it. Unbelievable. It's awful pretty down in here. Awful pretty. Wind died down a little bit. Okay, we're still on the South Crest Trail, and we're coming down into all this really congested area, but I wanted to give you a view of this before we get too far. Of course, that wind has really kicked up. I'm not using my secondary mic because I was having some issues with it. This will be good enough, but man, look at that. Look at that view back there. And the Cenega Trail, got to be down in there somewhere. Got to be.
Yeah, it's
Got to be. Got to be.
You got to go over that hill.
It might be right down through that little canyon right down there we're looking at. So, and I think, you see over there? I think
Where the saddle is?
I think that's where the saddle is, where we came up for the Pinot. So,
okay, that's where it is.
alrighty. Shouldn't be long now. Alright, we are on the South Crest Trail. And we are just coming into the junction of the Pinot Trail, which is right there. Pinot Trail, Trail 140. Crest Trail 130, that's what we were on. And that's the Pinot Trail back down to the Atlanta Gallegos area. And when we come up that direction, we usually stop right up in here. That's where we have our lunch. Now here's the post for the, I think that's probably the marker for Cenega. We've got to figure out where the heck that thing is. Oh! Yeah, Cenega Trail. Right here. So that's it. This is that bad boy we've been looking for. Cenega down that way. South Crest Trail going out that direction. Yep. And we're headed down to Cenega right now. It's 1 o'clock. Shows we're approximately 8 miles into the hike. So that would be about 4.5 hours, 4 hours and 40 minutes to get here. So we're headed down and rejoin the faulty and then back over to the trailhead. So off we go. Still headed down the Cenega Trail. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. According to the GPS, we're about 3/4 of a mile or so from our junction with the faulty trail, which will take us back over to the trailhead. All in all, this has been a pretty pleasant hike. Nothing too strenuous. And another tree on the Cenega. So that's easy walk under. This is the Cenega Trail again, another tree down. This is about 5 or 6 trees on the trail today. Well, apparently we are at the intersection of the Cenega and faulty. What? I don't know. And 5 after 2.
You want to sit here for a minute?
So, and I got news for you.
Huh?
This trail was had the most stuff all over it and blocking it along the side. So I don't know what that is right there. Getting hot right here. So let's see what these signs say. Sandia Mountain Wilderness, Cenega Trail number 148. That's where we just came from, where Marty's sitting. So the Cenega continues that way, which I'm going to assume goes to the Cenega Trailhead, which is not what we want. We want this bad boy right here, the faulty trail. So we're going to take that direction, and it shouldn't be far to get back to the truck and the ice chest. Yes, that's the only thing keeping us going, that ice chest. And it did get warm. Feels about, I don't know, feels like right here about 75 or so, upper 70s. Onward and upward. All right, we are on the faulty trail, headed back to Sulphur Canyon. This hike is close to being over, but I still think we've got half a mile on this thing, on the faulty, to get back to Sulphur, and then about a half a mile back down Sulphur Trail to the truck. But 2:15, so if we get back there by 2:45, we will have arrived about 45 minutes ahead of our schedule, or our estimate, which is pretty good. Well, we're still on the faulty. We had to do a little bit of climbing, but hopefully that was it, because our legs are worn out. So now looks like we're headed downhill, and I hope it just stays that way until we get back to the truck. So, but this is pretty nice down in here. All right, on the faulty, but we are now approaching our intersection with the Sulphur Canyon Trail, which is where we were this morning. So, we came up from down there this morning, went to the right, Sulphur Canyon Trail, and we just made the big counterclockwise loop, came back in through there, back here. So probably take us another 15 minutes to get back to the truck, so we'll be 45 minutes ahead of our estimate. I'm gonna let my GPS run. No point shooting any more video. I'll let my GPS track run until we get back to the truck. Get a good number on that. All in all, good day's hike. I'm definitely tired. We'll see you on the next hike.